day 3 of coming down to sit with Juliet. And I'm testing my theory. Make the right thing easier. Only ask questions that they can say yes to. So I have a pile of hay here. I have a little pile over there. A little one here. And then where she's at. And right away she came up to eat. Like before I was even sitting down in my chair. It's -4. I don't know how long I'm gonna sit here today. But I have my heated socks on, my hand warmers, a turtleneck, a hoodie, a vest, 2 jackets, long underwear, insulated pants, 2 hats, and my wild dude rag. Like I undressed to be able to sit, guys. I'm super pleased that she's already over here eating, not having to think about it. So I'm asking questions she can say yes to. What I really want is for her to come over here and eat, and we'll see how long it takes. Now, guys, what I wouldn't do with sitting with them is just to sit here and not ask a question. Like, I could just sit in here, but how would I gauge anything then? Let's ask questions. Can you eat next to me? She's been eating the entire time next to me. What I loved yesterday after I got done working with her, sitting with her, I went out and I was just petting and loving on her. And for the first time, she didn't seem offended since she was trimmed by her farrier. Now, if you guys haven't watched all the videos, you're watching a video from the 7 tails of the 7 tails. And when we brought them home, her feet were long. They needed to be trimmed. I thought I was gonna have more time, but she developed a horizontal and a vertical crack. So we needed to get her trimmed. I got her as ready as I could, and we got the job done. But now she says, I don't trust you anymore. So if this has ever happened to you with your donkeys, watch along with this playlist, guys. We're working on getting back that trust with her that we had established. And now she's eating and she hasn't been walking away. Oh, but here she goes. She's walking away. But ask questions. Can you hang out with me and eat? Now, if she stays over there for too long, I'm gonna move some of these piles closer to her. Remember, donkeys need time to process. Look at how quickly she's coming back over. When I first started to sit down with her, she would just stand over there on the other side of the barn. But now she says she's willing to move around. That's a good thing. It's really cold out, guys. -4. Look at all those ice chunks on her lips. So I wouldn't just sit down here with them for no reason. I would ask if they would eat. This is her breakfast time. I have her separated from all the rest while we're hanging out so she can eat next to me. So I let her stand over by that gate for like a minute, and then I put that little pile of hay in front of her, not the one that she's eating, and she still didn't come over. So in the name of making what I want easier, I put another pile a little bit closer. And now look at, she's over here eating. Making the questions easy for them to say yes to is gonna help build up their confidence and their willingness to do what we want them to do. All right, guys, she's about done with that little pile, and there she's taking a step to the next, making it easier for her to do what I want, which is to eat from this pile. So if you guys are thinking about adopting your own wild donkey, sometimes people wonder, should I get a young one or an old one? And what we have experienced here is that the young ones will often, not always, but the young ones will often gentle faster with a trust, but then training is slower because they have a baby brain. The older ones take more time to trust, but then the training goes faster. So it's like a complete flip. One trusts faster and one trains faster. So that's our experience. Put in the comments if you have a different experience with gentling or training your own wild donkeys. All right, guys, she finished that little pile she had been working on. She took a couple bites from that pile and then moved over here. What I like so much about what's happening today is she's been eating pretty constantly with the exception of like a minute or two. Making the right thing easier for her is really helping her be comfortable enough to eat next to me. Now, one of my favorite acronyms for training is SCAP. Look at that. She's conflicted, but she has more options. That's also helping make the right thing easy. See how quickly she comes back. Now, if she doesn't come back pretty quickly, I'm going to put another pile over there. I'm going to turn it off and wait. We'll see how long it takes her to come back over. All right, guys, it only took less than half a minute. So one of my favorite acronyms for training is SCAP, S-C-A-P. That's not my acronym, guys. That one comes from Ty Evans. It stands for SCAP, soft, centered, accurate, and punctual. Now, Ty doesn't train wild donkeys. His thing is mules. But I can never find anything to compare to this. Whenever I'm deciding if I'm doing the right thing, are they soft? Look at her body language. Is it soft? Does she respond with softness? Is she centered? Is she leaning away from me or having to go stand way over there by the door? Is she accurate? Right now, I just want her to eat. Is she eating? And is she punctual? Is she standing over somewhere else for minutes? Or is she punctually eating? It's breakfast time. She's hungry. So SCAP, I always keep that in mind whenever I'm training. Soft, centered, accurate, and punctual. And today, my experiment to see if I could make the right thing easier is working out really well because she's been eating constantly and she's even conflicted walking over to this pile, starting to be more comfortable with that. So keep this in mind. I hope this helps with your own training needs. I'd love to hear your comments and sure appreciate it when you like and subscribe. Now, sometimes when you're doing this, they might need a break. She was eating from this pile here, so I was in her left eye, and she was eating there for a while, and then she took her bite and went over there to eat. So that could have been too much. That could tell me she's more sensitive on her left eye than straight on. Now it's been about, 15 seconds or so since she got done chewing, and since she's not chewing and she's not over here eating her breakfast, I'm gonna go move some more food closer up to help that be easier for her to do what I want, which is eat next to me. I moved some there. You can see that pile in front of her. And she started to walk before I sat down, and then she stopped. So I'm gonna give her a second, and then I'll put one pile even closer to keep making what I want easier. Now guys, if I were to quit doing this right now while she's not coming over to eat, and I already put one more pile closer to her, I would be reinforcing that she should be afraid. So when I do quit with this, I want her to be eating at least somewhere near me, not too afraid to eat. So I just moved it a little bit further, and now she came straight up to eat. So when you're doing this and you're trying to decide when you can quit because you're cold and it's negative out, make sure they're eating at least somewhere near you and then call it quits. You guys have an awesome day.